Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a wonderful week. Like always, today I am continuing with my Weeknd discography journey, and we have made it to his 2018 EP called My Dear Melancholy. Now, this probably will be one of my shortest Weeknd videos because there are only 6 tracks on this EP, and the EP itself is 22 minutes. I don't recall hearing any of these songs before, but like always, if I start listening to a song and it sounds familiar, I'll let you guys know. I don't really have anything else to say right now, so let's just jump into the EP with track number 1, Call Out My Name.
We found each other. I helped you out of a broken place. I claimed you so proud and openly. So call out my name. Why can't you wait? I'll be on my. I said I didn't feel nothing, baby. You just wasted my time. You're on top. I put you on top. So call out my name. I want you to stay, even though you don't want me. I'll be on my.
Okay, that was track number 1, Call Out My Name, and this was a beautiful song to listen to. In particular, I really enjoyed Abel's vocals on this track. I do feel a little bad because in all my other Weeknd videos, I never really commented on Abel's voice or his singing because I feel like it goes without saying that his voice is always beautiful. It's always seductive and gorgeous and dark and moody. So I feel like I don't ever really need to bring it up because I feel like his vocals are always very consistent. We found each other. I helped you out of a broken place. You gave me comfort, but falling for you was my mistake. I put you on top. I claimed you so proud and openly. And then he goes on to say, I said I didn't feel nothing, baby, but I lied. I almost cut a piece of myself for your life. Guess I was just another pit stop. Till you made up your mind, you just wasted my time. So it looks like he had genuine feelings for this girl. Perhaps he might have even loved her, but it looks like it was a waste of time. Call out my name when I kiss you so gently. I want you to stay. He wants her to stay, but I guess the feeling isn't mutual and she doesn't love him the way that he enjoys being around her. I find this song quite interesting because I feel like the shoe's now on the other foot. Because in a lot of his other albums and a lot of his other songs, he would sing about these girls who wanted to be with him. They wanted to have relationships with him, but he was saying, no, I don't want any of that. I just want to be intimate with you. I'm just here for the sex. Don't fall in love with me. Please don't fall in love with me. I might like you, but I'm trying not to fall in love with you because perhaps he's scared of commitment. He doesn't want to be in a relationship, so he runs away and he leaves these girls behind. So now the girl doesn't want him, even though he has feelings for her. And it seems like he genuinely likes her, but she doesn't want to stay. She's leaving. So I like how the tides, or what's to say, the tables have now turned. Now, some people have said that this song is perhaps about Selena Gomez. I had no idea that The Weeknd and Selena Gomez dated. Selena Gomez and The Weeknd called it quits after almost a year of dating back in October of 2017. But his latest EP, My Dear Melancholy, has sparked renewed interest in the relationship. So I don't know if this song is about Selena Gomez or the entire EP. So overall, I did enjoy this song. It's a traditional sounding Weeknd song, which is what I like when it comes to the production. It's still dark and moody. His voice is great. It's very soulful. And I feel like this is a more tender side to Abel, which we typically don't really hear much of. It's just so sad because he fell for her and he put her on top and he coveted her, but she didn't feel the same way. Or maybe she did at one point, but now she's ready to leave him. And that's just so hard for me to read, especially when it comes to The Weeknd, because we all know what he's gone through when it comes to relationships. So anyway, I'm just gonna shut my mouth and move on to the next song, track number 2, Try Me. Okay, that was track number 2, Try Me, and this was another good song from The Weeknd. What I'm enjoying most about this EP so far is I like this side to Abel, a side that we haven't really seen before about this relationship. And he seems genuinely interested in this girl, like I said already, and he's dealing with a little bit of heartbreak. And it's maturity that I'm hearing, which is nice. He's come so far since his first mixtape, House of Balloons, in 2011. And just listening to his entire discography up until now, you could just hear the changes in his outlook and his life and the way he sees things and his relationships. So he's definitely maturing through his discography. It does say here that the EP focuses on a heartbreak and anger related to a breakup. And it also says that the lyrics focus around The Weeknd's past relationships, mainly with model Bella Hadid and singer Selena Gomez. The production is reminding me of his earlier work in the mixtapes, the trilogy. Unlike Beauty Behind the Madness and Starboy, which were more commercial and poppy, even though they did keep the same moodiness and darkness of his prior albums. Those two in particular, Beauty Behind the Madness and Starboy, were still poppy, electronic, and more, I guess, fun, I suppose. Whereas this is, to me, this is old school Weeknd. It's definitely very moody and dark and ominous, which is what I like in The Weeknd. I'm all alone, baby. If he ain't around, pick up your phone, baby. Can you try me? Once you put your pride aside, you can notify me. You're the best I ever had, baby girl. Now, sometimes a guy will tell a girl, you're the best I ever had, just to stroke her ego, make her feel good about herself, make her feel loved. But in this case, I don't think he's doing that. I think he's genuinely honest about what he's saying in this song. I think he genuinely means it when he says, you're the best I ever had. And that's big coming from The Weeknd if he is being honest about that, because he's been with so many different girls. That's a big statement, and that just makes this album all the more tragic that he broke up with her, because it seems like he genuinely cared about her and perhaps even loved her. Don't you mess with me, the way I kissed your scars, the way I fixed your heart. Don't you mess with me. And it also seems like this girl is in another relationship with another guy, which seems to be a common theme through The Weeknd's discography, how he seems interested in these girls who are already in relationships. So he says, call me up, notify me. I thought you had some kind of love for your man. I'm not trying to break up something. You've been working out, you've been steady, but I'm ready to go all the way if you let me. Don't you tempt me. So it looks like he's not trying to break up anything between the girl and her boyfriend, but at the same time, he can't help himself, and she's the best he ever had, and he wants her to call him and notify him when she's ready. We are 2 tracks into the EP, and even though, in my opinion, they're not the catchiest songs in the world, they don't have the catchiest hooks, they're not the most memorable, but what is memorable are the stories and his emotions and what he's singing about. But let's move on to track number 3, Wasted Times.
Wasted times I spent with someone else. Even though you put my life through hell, who you get this from for now? No one think I'm lying, God, 'cause I got a lie. I ain't got no business catching feelings, catching feelings. Hope you know this dick is still an option, 'cause I'll be loving. Know you pulling up I don't wanna wake up if you ain't laying next to me.
Okay, that was track number 3, Wasted Times, and this is such a sad EP. It's so tragic. Wasted times I spent with someone else, she wasn't even half of you. Reminiscing how you felt, and even though you put my life through hell, I can't seem to forget about you. He also goes on to say how she has been with him since the beginning, and there are other girls who just want to be with him because he's famous and he has money. I hope you know this dick is still an option, because I'll beat it up. But one of the most heartbreaking parts of the song is the very end when he says, I don't want to wake up if you ain't laid next to me. This is another song on the EP that isn't the most catchiest. It's not the most memorable. It doesn't have the catchy hooks like Starboy and Beauty Behind the Madness. So if you want the fun dance tracks, if you want the catchy hooks, check out those 2 albums. You won't find them on this EP, at least not for me anyway. But like I said already, what I'm enjoying is this more intimate side of The Weeknd. And what I also like is he's not singing about the partying and the bitches and the hoes and the strippers and the money. He's being so open and raw on this album, which is what I like. So let's move on to track number 4, I Was Never There. And the next 2 tracks on the EP, tracks 4 and 5, I Was Never There and Hurt You, are with a featured artist, The Weeknd and I don't know how to pronounce their name. Jezebel Stein. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Jezebel Stein is a French musician, DJ, songwriter, and record producer. I've never heard of him before. He has worked with The Weeknd and Daft Punk and Kanye West, so on and so forth. I definitely need to check out his work because I don't think I've ever really heard anything from him before.
What makes it wrong and wanna cry? When shine, it will matter. Shine, it will matter, it will matter. I'm not ready for sure. I'd rather something toxic. It's all because of you. It's all because of you.
Okay, that was track number 4, I Was Never There with Jezebel Stein, and this is another song I enjoyed. I liked the production, and so far, I gotta say, this EP, at least in my opinion, is quite consistent. What makes a grown man wanna cry? What makes him wanna take his life? His happiness is never real, and mindless sex is how he feels. When it's time, when it's time, when it's time, it won't matter. It was like I was never there. This album is... These lyrics definitely punch you in the gut, and they're heart-wrenching. They really are. Now I know what love is, and I know it ain't you for sure. You'd rather something toxic, so I poison myself again till I feel nothing. And then he says, I'm on the edge of something breaking. I feel my mind is slowly fading. If I keep going, I won't make it. And it's all because of you. He's definitely self-destructing very slowly, and he's thinking some really nasty, dark thoughts, and um, I feel genuinely bad for him. I do feel like out of all his albums so far in his discography, this one included, this EP, this one is definitely one of the darkest when it comes to his emotions. He does touch on really serious things when a man is running out of hope and he is running out of options, and he is crying. What makes a grown man want to cry? What makes him want to take his life? His happiness is never real, and mindless sex is how he feels. So I imagine there are many, many, many people who can relate to not just this song, but this entire EP. Hell, there are so many people who can relate to Abel's entire discography. But anyway, let's move on to track number 5, Hurt You, which is also featuring Jessica Stein.
Now I know relationships my enemy, so stay away from me. And all the nights you thought about taking your life, I don't wanna hurt you. You're within me, close your eyes and think of me. All the nights you thought about taking your life, baby, I don't wanna hurt you. I don't wanna hurt you. Don't wanna hurt you.
We are continuing the theme of his heartbreak, how he should never have been involved with this girl because now his heart's broken. And now I know relationships my enemy, so stay away from me. I'm warning you. You try to fill the void with every man you meet, because you're upset with me. I'm warning you. And then he goes on to say, because if it's love you want again, don't waste your time. But if you call me up, I'm fucking you on sight. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt you. So I don't exactly know what happened in this relationship. I don't know why it went the way it did and why they broke up. Was it because of the Weeknd? Was it because of Selena or this other girl? He was also, I believe, singing about another girl he dated. What's her name? She was a model. Bella Hadid and Selena Gomez. So I don't know why those relationships ended. I don't know if it was because of him or her or both of them. I don't know. If it's luck you want again, don't waste your time. So don't waste your time on me. I'm not gonna fall for it again. My heart's already broken. I don't want to be with you. I don't want to love you. I will fuck you. If you call me up, I will fuck you, but I won't love you. And that's very much in character for The Weeknd when it comes to letting these girls call him up for sex, but that's about it. There aren't going to be any emotions. They're not going to fall in love with each other. He'll fuck you, but he won't love you. So he sung about that many times on a lot of his other albums. It's just really sad because he did seem like the type of guy who didn't want to commit to a long-term relationship. He did seem like the guy who would bring home a girl and say, this is my girlfriend, I'm gonna marry her, I'm in love with her. He did seem like that type of guy, but maybe because he is getting older and more mature, that's something he perhaps wants now. And he tried it, and he was burnt by it, which sucks because he tried being in this relationship, and now he knows that relationships are his enemy. Stay away from me. So that's really tragic. And what I also liked about the song is at the very end, we hear what sounds like an alarm going off, which fits in perfectly with the lyrics of the song when he says, I don't want to hurt you, back off, stay away from me. But anyway, we have come to the end of the EP. Track number 6, Privilege.
Enjoy your wait. I got two breaths. And I'ma fuck the pain away, and I know I'll be okay.
Okay, that was track number 6, Privilege, the final track on the EP, and enjoy your privileged life because I'm not gonna hold you through the night. We said our last goodbyes, so let's just try to end it with a smile. And I don't want to hear that you are suffering. You are suffering no more. So it looks like this girl was suffering, and perhaps he put the suffering there, and that wasn't his intention. So to ease the pain, they're saying their goodbyes, but with a smile. And he's saying, I'ma fuck the pain away, and I know I'll be okay. I got 2 red pills to take the blues away. So it looks like he's falling back into destructive habits to numb the pain that he felt in this relationship when he broke up with her. He's going to be drinking, and he's going to be having sex, and he's going to be taking pills to numb the pain and make himself feel better. And when he does that, he'll feel okay once again. And it looks like that's the end of that. The relationship and the EP. I don't want to hear that no more, no more, no more. I don't want to hear that no more. So that is the end of that. So that was all 6 tracks of My Dear Melancholy, the EP from The Weeknd, and this was very sad. Definitely one of his, if not his saddest piece of music ever out of all his albums. It's very macabre, and it's so raw and emotional. And what I like about this album is he isn't really singing about the typical Weeknd things like partying and the drugs and the sex and the alcohol, the strippers and the bitches and the hoes and the money and the celebrity. He sings about that a little bit on this album, but it's more of a coping mechanism as to how he's going to handle this breakup. And he's saying how you can call me up again, even though we're not together. I'm not gonna love you again, but we are gonna fuck, but we're not gonna have emotions. And he's gonna self-medicate with the alcohol and the pills. What I also like about this EP is we can definitely see the growth in The Weeknd when it comes to his emotions. It looks like he was genuinely in love with this girl and he wanted to be with her, but it didn't work out. And now he's saying he should have fallen for her. He's learned his lesson, and perhaps now I'm concerned because he might not ever want to fall in love again because of what happened on this EP. I mean, it seems like this relationship really affected him because he wrote an entire EP about it. So it must have been a really big event in his life that really did affect him quite a bit. I also enjoyed the production on this album. It's very traditional Weeknd. It's moody and it's macabre and it's dark. It's a little bit electronic like what we heard on Starboy. And speaking of Starboy, that was an odyssey. 18 tracks on that album, and this one only had 6. I guess if I had one negative about this EP, it would be how most of these songs, if not all of these songs, aren't very memorable when it comes to the catchy hooks and the melodies, like what we heard on Starboy and Beauty Behind the Madness. So if you're looking for I don't know, if you're looking for party songs that get your body moving and the catchy hooks and the melodies and the beats, you're not gonna find it on this EP. I imagine some people would probably find this EP quite boring, but I really enjoyed the stories and lyrics on this EP. I probably enjoyed the lyrics on this EP more than I did on Starboy and Beauty Behind the Madness. I just like this side of The Weeknd. It's not really a side we see a lot of, his more tender side. Is this an EP I would listen to all the time? Probably not, to be honest with you. Like I said already, it's not the most memorable thing in the world compared to a lot of his other albums and songs, but for what it's worth, I still think it's a good weekend effort. So I think that's all I wanted to say on the EP. What did you guys think of it, and what are your impressions? And in my next weekend video, we will be moving on to the grand finale of this discography journey. Can you believe it? We have already made it to the end of my weekend discography journey after hours from 2020. I heard a lot of good things about this album. Apparently, it's one of his best, if not his best album. That's what a lot of people said. Apparently, this album is a big deal, and I'm very excited to listen to it, so that will be next week. And this coming Saturday, which is tomorrow, I will be watching his Super Bowl halftime show performance for the very first time. So look out for those videos, and thanks for watching, guys. You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Twitter, you can message me, you can say, hey, how are you? And I will see you next time. Take care.